one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. Just gotta mean something, you. They gotta mean something. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
I'm not worried about the world anymore. I've seen the world be my friend. I've seen the world turn on me. But at the end of the day, I've always been with me. God has always been with me. So being on this scale now, it's my time. It's always been my time, but now it's my time to actually do it for myself.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps because they know. They know what happens next. So without further ado, free smoke. Look, scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much I have you doing would have meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa. Boss forever like they decided to throw me under slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. The NFC East. That's what we talking about today. But before we get into that, how is everybody doing today? Hope everybody having a dope day. If the day is not as dope as you would like it to be, it's still a lot of time left in this day. We ain't even at 1 o'clock yet. But listen, I do hope everybody is having a dope day. And if, like I said, it's not going the way you want it to, it's still time in the day. But I understand that you can't always get that day to where you want it to get to. So I hope I hope at some point in time that your day is better. Friday is tomorrow. I cannot imagine. Well, I can, but I hope that your Friday is so much better than today. If that is the case. But with that being said, gotta talk about, we continue our series of predicting the division. I don't know why I couldn't get that out. Division predictions. That's what I actually meant to say. We continue. We covered the entire NFC. If you didn't watch those videos, they up on the channel. You can go rewatch those shows. I'd appreciate it if you watch those shows. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I'm trying to be a new sports network. And listen. You might not be a fan of a couple of things. You might not be a fan of the topics. You might not be a fan of the way I don't really talk about drama and off the field crap, trash. I might curse too much for you, even though I am working on that, because we're trying to become a family-friendly show. We're trying to build something here, all right? It's not a podcast. I don't like podcasts. We're trying to build a network, a show, all right? We're going to become big time. You can't do that if all you're talking about is drama. We trying to get people to fall in love with sports again. Not the antics, not the off the field stuff. No, we trying to get people to fall in love with sports, and we trying to educate people on sports over here. All right, Saints World, a sports network. That's what I need to change it to. I haven't done it yet. But you just got a glimpse of me brainstorming right in front of you. But listen, we got to get into that NFC East. We did, like I said, talked about all of those, AFC East. We talked about all of the NFC divisions last week. Don't worry, we're not done talking about the NFC, just specifically each division. But another NFC video will drop after I cover all of the AFC divisions. Because we'll do a ranking of the top NFC teams in the NFC. Meaning, we will also do that for the AFC after we are done completing the AFC series and that NFC video. You can expect all of this. We are trying to chop these videos out. Crank these videos out before the NFL season starts. Of course, I don't care too much about the preseason, but before I actually get into talking about this division, the Bills, the Patriots, the Dolphins, the Jets, I do want to talk about something else, a preseason game. So I was watching the Ravens preseason the other night. They finally, the streak is over. They finally lost to the Washington Commanders. Imagine that. I don't care too much about the game. I want to talk about a specific series that I saw. So in a series in this game, Josh Johnson, the backup quarterback for the Ravens, who should be the backup going into the season. He is better than Tyler Huntley. I understand it's the preseason, but he made a lot of great throws throughout this game. Throws that Tyler Huntley is not making. On top of that, I don't like Tyler Huntley's throwing motion. I don't like how the ball come out of his hand. I don't like his pocket awareness. I don't like his pocket presence. I don't like how he read a defense. I don't like that people continue to say that he kind of like Lamar when he actually is nowhere near as elusive as Lamar. And he don't see holes the way Lamar see them. So I don't think Tyler Huntley should be a backup quarterback. He just being overhyped because the Ravens have had a good enough team around him, and Lamar Jackson had already played good enough and got them to the record they had to where he was in the playoffs last year. But when Lamar Jackson was hurt the year before that, and he had enough games to prove he was a good quarterback, he lost all of them except for one. And that was the one where Lamar actually started that game out. But no, it wasn't. It was that Bears game. And Lamar did start that game, actually. But nonetheless, Josh Johnson should be the backup. Now, Josh Johnson kind of looked like my manager, DJ. But that's neither here nor there. Josh Johnson made a lot of good throws throughout his time in this game. But it was one throw he made when he was driving Baltimore up the field, and they started all the way back at on the other side of the field. They had to basically go 100 yards. And Josh Johnson was making a lot of great throws throughout that drive. And then he threw the ball up in the end zone to James Prochet. And James Prochet jumped up, caught the ball, and before you knew it, it was an interception that was halfway back down the field on the other side. Now, Troy and Joe Aikman kept talking. Troy Aikman and Joe Buck kept talking about, specifically Troy, about how that was on Josh Johnson. He didn't have time to step into the throw, yada, yada, yada. That was not on Josh Johnson. That is as good a throw as he could have possibly made, considering pressure was on him. This is my problem with not Joe Buck specifically or Troy Aikman. I actually love listening to those two. It's my problem with, to Troy, I love listening to Troy, but Troy do this a lot, where he defend the quarterback more than he actually, he will attack a quarterback. Well, it's not even attacking. Sometimes Troy's analysis is just wrong, in my opinion. I understand Troy was great, but it's just wrong sometimes. Troy got to remember, this ain't that Dallas team that you played for. These quarterbacks are not you a lot of times. And every situation is not the same. I done seen Troy be very wrong on plays at times. Like I think last year he was the one who was saying Justin Fields made a good throw at the end of a game on Monday Night Football that the receiver should have made or something like that. No, he did not. That was a bad throw that the receiver tried to save based off of how he rerouted himself. The receiver should have never put his hands on it to try to even make an amazing play. But because he did, Troy Aikman tried to say it was on him. When in actuality, it was a bad throw. It was not a bad catch. In this instance, he was talking about, oh, it was a bad throw. You know, he wasn't necessarily just trashing Johnson. He was saying why it was a bad throw. That's not a bad throw. The receiver went up over the defender and high pointed the catch, but tried to catch the ball with his body. This is my problem with the Ravens scouting, bro. I don't understand how they, like, bro, who is scouting the receivers over here? Shout out to Zay Flowers. He seemed to be, because in the same game, he looked good. He showed elusiveness that a lot of the receivers for the Baltimore Ravens haven't shown. But I'm trying to understand who is scouting these Ravens receivers, because continuously having receivers who catch with their body and not with the hand. Bro, my problem with Rashad Bateman in the games I've seen him play was that, go look at the tape. He don't look comfortable catching with his hands. Go look at the difference between the great receivers and the okay receivers and the decent receivers. Devontae Adams is great because of route running and because he catches the ball with his hands. Odell Beckham was big because he caught with his hands. Justin Jefferson is a hands catching receiver. Those three monsters over there in Cincinnati. Tyreek Hill. These are A.J. Brown. These are hands catch. Amari Cooper. Hands catching receivers. They high point footballs and they extend their hands to form that triangle shape, and they catch it with their hands. They are confident that they can catch everything. That's why you can see them make amazing one-handed grabs, because they are so confident in catching the ball and comfortable catching the ball with their hands over just time after time of training, catching the ball with your hands. I understand there's times where you might have to try to make a body catch, but no receiver is trained to catch the ball with their hands tucked into their bodies, because a football can bounce off of your chest, off of your padding, off of anywhere. You want to always secure the ball with your two hands extended, with your arms extended, catching the ball with both hands. Julio Jones, in my opinion, is the greatest receiver I have ever seen aside from T.O. because of how great he caught with his hands. He was the best of his generation, better than Calvin Johnson, better than the dudes he played with, better than Andre Johnson, in my opinion, because of how for one, Julio did everything. Size, speed, agility, hands, like everything. But just go look at some of Julio's greatest plays. Jumping over Luke Kuechly, making it. It's hands catching. Baltimore need to hire somebody who is sitting down, looking at the film, and watching receivers from the first catch of the season in college to the last catch. Because something not translating in this draft process or in the scouting department. James Prochet, Rashad Bateman. Like, it's so many. I don't want to murk all the Ravens receivers. But look at the drop problem. It is a drop problem because they don't catch with their hands. They're not confident in catching with their hands. What's that? What happened with his hands? What happened? Shout out Chisel Adonis. I'm very confused by the Ravens scouting department when it comes to receivers. And this notion, we don't want to spend on receivers. Why? Because you clearly can't draft them. I'm praying Zay Flowers is the exception, but bro, it is a problem in Baltimore. And I'm not putting this on the receivers. Yes, like RG3 said, you got a couple players now that I call help a brother out type of players. He ain't had those. The problem is not those players not being able to catch, because they just so far along in their career. I mean, they came up this way. They are what they are. You can't just turn a receiver who don't catch with his hands into a receiver that catch with his hands. And then they go out and sign a receiver who is not a sure-handed receiver in Nelson Aguilar. I'm not putting this on the receivers. Putting this on scouting. At some point in time, Baltimore is scouting. I understand teams making a mistake or two. Baltimore keep drafting receivers who can't catch with their hands. They keep doing it. Rashad Perriman. Like I said, I don't want to go through the list of these guys. But that play was just more proof. Like, bro, these receivers. And the difference that this is why Mark Andrews is so far and away better than them, which is the problem. Because your tight end cannot be your best weapon if you have nothing else. If you have another great receiver on that, I would argue Travis Kelce, for as great as he is, and he will finish as a greater at his position than Tyreek Hill possibly, because of the pantheon greats that Tyreek Hill is competing against. However, I will argue to the end of time, Tyreek Hill did more for those Super Bowls when he was there than Travis Kelce. Why? Because having a receiver who can beat everybody and do everything and catch with his hands will always be better than having a tight end who can do it. And that's no shot at Travis Kelce. But as great as he is, I would always take Randy Moss, or T.O. over him. As great as Shannon Sharp is, I would always take a Jerry Rice or those type of guys over him. Because it's something different when you have a wide receiver who play that outside, but can also go line up inside if he want to, that it just changes things. Which is why people who watch the game, who understand football, have been arguing for so long, bro, get Lamar a number one receiver. You got bozos like Emmanuel Acho who get on TV and try to argue for guys who we know are not number one receivers. And LaShawn McCoy will sit there and tell him, like, bro, these are number 3 at best receivers that he been working with. And you trying to say that they like, bro, the expectations to throw the ball like Pat Mahomes, gain them type of yard. I just want to put out there, you did not tell Jalen Hurts that he needed, because it was an expectation with the winning and the pieces around him. You don't care how it get done. For some reason, Lamar need to throw this many yards. He ain't never had the type of talent in his career and his football career that some of these quarterbacks don't have. But sure, go out there and play like you got Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins running opposite you. Like, come on, bro. All right. But it's not a Lamar Jackson video. This is me saying I don't understand the Baltimore Ravens scouting department. James Prochet's drop. I'm so sick and tired of seeing Baltimore Ravens receivers dropping passes, not being elite receivers because they cannot catch the ball with their hands, bro. People worried about a lot of things with Baltimore, like, the elusive receiver and all this. I just want to see if any of these receivers can run their route to get open, because no receiver done been able to run routes good enough to get open. They always rely on speed and can catch the ball with their hands. That's all I want from the receiver, bro. If you have those two things, you can get somewhere. Those type of receivers will usually help you get further than, even if they don't have the elite speed. Anquan Bolden didn't have elite speed, bro. He helped Baltimore get to a Super Bowl and win it. Receivers who catch, go look at the Anquan Bolden highlights, as a matter of fact, where he caught it one with his hands, arm extended, laughed at the dude hanging on his legs. That's what great receivers do. Now let's get into the NFC East, baby. The AFC East, baby. Bills. Well, let me go ahead and start it off. The Patriots is going to finish in last. All right. Didn't take too much time to get that one out of there. Had to go ahead and crank that one out. Because the Patriots, as much as I do like different pieces on the defense, it done showed you in the last couple years, man. It don't matter how good their defense is. It's not a greatest defense of all time type of situation. Because of that, you got to get something out of the offense. And the fact of the matter is, I don't want to say that Mac has regressed. And I'm not going to, bro, because it's not on Mac. Regression would be when the quarterback or the player himself is regressing. Not because of just bad coaching and all this type of stuff. Just something is not translating from him from the first year to the second year. Whether his hitch done changed, his steps done changed when he backing up in the pocket, his drop back, his stance in the pocket, he done become jittery. I don't know. But this ain't regression from Mac Jones. This is, I don't have a fucking chance right now to do anything because I'm playing with an egotistical, arrogant head coach who's still living off of his past with Tom Brady and an owner who won't do nothing about it. Point blank, period. Not only do he got to deal with that, he got to also deal with the fact that I could have been drafted to San Fran, but these morons took Trey Lance. And now they're finna trade Trey Lance after never even giving him a real opportunity. Not shocking that Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, two guys who have failed and had opportunities, continue to be given opportunities. But a Trey Lance who was never given a real opportunity, he seemingly can't be good. But those two guys can continue to have chances. But that's neither here nor there. Listen, the Patriots have done Mac Jones no favors. Yet again, they don't go out and get him any top tier receiver. They don't even try to trade for one. They don't try to go up in the draft to go secure one. They don't do anything to bring talent over to help Mac Jones. I guess it'll be another year, and they let one of his favorite receivers walk. I don't get the Patriots. I really don't like how this organization has ever been run, but they've been able to get away with it because of Tom Brady and because moron former Patriot players will go in there and tell players to do the same thing that they did that just make no sense. I have a problem with all these pay cuts players take for the Patriots over the years, but the Patriots continue to be cheap. And the only reason we can't say they one of those organizations that's just taking the money from the fans and putting out a bad product is because they had Tom Brady. It's easy to be a winning organization when people want to come play with Tom Brady. It's real easy. But now you got to build an organization back up. And yeah, people done allowed you to live off of your laurels in the past championships. And I'd never take that away from Belichick. But it's starting to feel like people are saying Belichick don't have to evolve. The Patriots don't have to now get to the next chapter of this book. This is ridiculous. And the person that's paying for it is Mac Jones. The owner won't force the coach to do right by Mac Jones. The coach going to continue to do whatever the hell he want to do because I got 5 Super Bowls. You have a defensive coordinator running the offensive coordinator position. You bring back in Bill O'Brien this year. Bill O'Brien not special. So you don't go outside your coaching tree. You just continue to go with your coaching tree, guys who you know you can control. Here's a little nugget. Tom Brady won a Super Bowl with every offensive coordinator he had in New England except for Bill O'Brien. So the Patriots don't have a chance, in my opinion. I love the rookie cornerback that they drafted. Here's my problem, much like Baltimore. You continue to put so much effort, so much resource into the defense when your quarterback, a young quarterback, who has shown you that he can be good, has not been given an opportunity to go to the next level because you won't put anything around him to actually help him. Now, I like the addition of Ezekiel Elliott. But I don't understand the addition of Ezekiel Elliott when you have Harris in the backfield, who is a great running back also, who is a younger running back. But I'm not going to be too mad about having both of them dudes running the ball in the backfield. I don't mind that. But why couldn't you go out and trade for a receiver? DeAndre Hopkins was out there. Why didn't you put money forward to go all out to get him? People keep talking about how Baltimore put so much money into getting Odell Beckham. That's the price you have to pay when you so far behind the 8 ball and doing what you were supposed to do to put talent around your quarterback. You got to overspend for a guy who might be in the back end of his career but used to be a great. DeAndre Hopkins is still great, and the Patriots wouldn't put forth the money they needed to put forth to get him. You bring in Bill O'Brien knowing, bro, we might need to go after DeAndre Hopkins, but, that don't matter. So, to me, the Patriots, I feel bad for Matt Judon, my guy, Red Sleeves. He'll probably end up being a cap casualty in a couple years, if this year or the next year. I feel bad for Mac because he's not been given a real opportunity. The beauty in it all is Mac Jones is a white quarterback, and he was drafted pretty high, so I imagine that he will be given an opportunity on a different team somewhere else to start one day. I hope that happens. I really think Mac need to try to demand a trade. There's talent in Mac Jones. I'm so sick and tired of watching Nick Wright go on TV and clown Mac Jones for things outside of his control, especially when he wouldn't have done that if that was his guys, like a Trevor Lawrence, like a Pat Mahomes or anything like that. And I'm not comparing Mac Jones to either of those two dudes, but Trevor Lawrence has not shown that he is that much better than Mac Jones if you actually watch the games. I love Trevor Lawrence also. I'm very high on Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has done real good with that running game leading the way. So I hope that Mac Jones can find a way to get to a team. Mac really going to have to demand a trade, bro. At one point in time, I said Mac Jones was lucky to be drafted to the Patriots. I could not have imagined the Patriots be this arrogant and stuck in their ways that they would really be ruining this kid's career right now. I hope that Mac Jones can find a way to get to it. Now, it's teams out there that would, I think, that would go after Mac Jones. So Mac Jones, to me, should try to demand a trade unless the owner just wake up and realize, bro, we are not doing anything for this quarterback that we invested in. We made the investment by drafting him. We have made no further investments by anything that we've put around him. Like, I feel for Mac. I feel for you, Mac, but the Patriots definitely finishing in last place in this division. The Dolphins will finish in third. Now, this is, I know a lot of people high on the Dolphins. I was high on the Dolphins, but with Jalen Ramsey going down, that's kind of tough for me. I do think Bradley Chubb will have a better year this year after starting. I mean, he basically slowed down when he got to the Dolphins, but he a big play type of guy. And he'll have a full off season to work with the Dolphins. He would have, had a home, found a place to stay. It's not a trade now. So he should be ready this year, more set and comfortable this year. My biggest concern for the Dolphins is the same concern, because if it wasn't the Dolphins' concern, if I didn't have this concern, I would have them in number 2. It's the quarterback, not the talent of Tua. Now, I'm not obsessed or fooled by the ridiculously stupid stats that I feel like stats a lot of times is what idiots use to talk about sports. That's why so many guys have podcasts, because they got a stat guy in their ear feeding them just ridiculous stats, and they make narratives based off of those stats. But you can always tell when people don't watch the games. I got no problem with Tua Tagovailoa, but a big problem with Tua, aside from his injury that I'm about to get into, Tua is not really pushing that ball down the field, even under Mike McDaniels. Yeah, they throw the ball. He throws short passes that pick up a lot of fucking yards because he got 2 great after the catch receivers. And he got big play receivers. And the fact of the matter is, when people were saying Tyreek gonna struggle, no. Tyreek is going to make Tua better because Tyreek is that guy. But at the end of the day, you can see Tua's limitations throughout the offense. So he will have to be coached up by the offensive scheme. But that ain't my biggest problem with Tua. I think you can still find ways to coach him up to do what his arms can't do. Plus, he got the talent around him. I would like a better running back, a more sure running back. But, whatever. My problem is that concussion, man. The concussions, 4 concussions last year, I think it was, or 3. I don't know how you survive off of this concussion. This is a team that should have been investing heavily in a backup quarterback in the offseason. Like, your backup quarterback should basically be a dude who people expect to compete for a starting job against Tua. That's where we should be at, because if Tua get concussed 1 or 2 times this year, I got to imagine that's his season. Like, that's how severe this concussion problem is for Tua. And if he take multiple concussions this year, you can't imagine that he's going to have a long career. Luke Kuechly was a linebacker, and his career was cut short because of concussions. Right now, the Dolphins have to really be concerned and worried about Tua and his concussion. I saw Tua send them shots to Ryan Clark. Hey, listen, bro. You want to get scrappy? We can get scrappy. I'm Samoan, my boy. He don't know about it, Tua. He don't know you part of the bloodline, my boy. He don't know nothing about it. He thought them tribal tattoos was just for show, Tua. Talk to him. Tua time. Now listen, obviously I'm biased. You already know. Alabama quarterback, so I'm gonna root for him. I was rooting for Tua time, and I was defending him. I really done defended Tua every year I done started my show. So, no shock there. I like Ryan Clark, but I agree with Tua. Like, bro, if you want to get scrappy, bro, we could get I don't think Tua was, or was he? Or was the big oos? Tua not the big oos, but was the big oos? Because the big oos is still Roman Reigns and The Rock. But was the big oos, was he saying I ain't playing? Was he joking around? Hey, Ryan Clark, you just had The Rock on the podcast, bro. You better calm down. Listen, that's still a major concern, though. If Tua can... Now, listen, a healthy Tua I really do feel like the Dolphins could finish in second. But here's my other problem, aside from the concussion problems with Tua. The Dolphins defense gotta be better this year. They gotta be better. I like Christian Wilkes. I like the cornerback rotation. I'm not really the biggest fan of the safety combination. I like them, but I'm not the big. I feel like you still could. Like, I thought Julian Love would have been a good addition for them in the offseason, but they didn't add him. So, it's whatever. But and mind you, is they safety even coming back? What's my man's name? He used to play for the Cowboys. Is it Byron Murphy? No, it ain't Byron Murphy. I can't remember my man's name at the moment, but he always hurt also. So the secondary for the Dolphins got to be better. It's just point blank period. I also am not the biggest fan of the linebacking core for the Dolphins. Like, I do like the defensive line, and I do like the linebackers, but I just don't know if they everyday great it's just, I think the Dolphins defense could be better, and that would play a huge role for like the offensive fall off at times. But I do have the Dolphins finishing in third because I'm not comfortable putting them any higher. As much as I like the talent on Miami, and I do like the talent, the Tua concussions and the secondary just scares me. I'm not gonna lie. Not to mention, who play opposite of Jalen Ramsey? How did I forget my man's name? Xavier Howard. He got kind of torched last year. I'm not going to lie. He kind of gave up some plays last year. It's been a rocky, up and down 2 years. He could get back on track this year. But if last year was an indicator that this is going to be, his downslope, I don't know, man. I don't know. But finishing in second. This was an interesting one, isn't it? You got the Jets, you got the Bills. And this one wasn't interesting. I got the Bills finishing second in the division. Yeah, man, I'm going all in on that Jets pick. I got the Bills finishing in second. And it's not necessarily because I think any less of Josh Allen, because I don't. It's not because of the drama surrounding Stephon Diggs. Could care less about that. It's simply because you lose Leslie Frazier. You lose a lot of good pieces on the defense, specifically your middle linebacker. I don't know how you replace that one. That's a tough loss. Now, I love Matt Milano. Oh, man, Matt Milano, one of the most underrated players in football, and it's crazy because he was an all-pro last year. But you don't hear people talk about Matt Milano when they talk about the best linebackers in football. And all I've been doing is raving about him for the last 3 years. But that's neither here nor there. I obviously, you like Jordan Poyer. Obviously, Micah Hyde come back this year. Our guy Tre'Davious White, you hope he healthy. They can have a bounce back year. They drafted a cornerback to play opposite of Tre'Davious in the first round. So interesting to see how he pan out for him. But that Leslie Frazier loss is an interesting one to me. Along with your linebacker loss. And now, Von Miller do come back healthy this year. So, maybe you get something from Von Miller. But, give me 1 second. You do get Von Miller back also this year, and you hope that he can stay healthy, that he play a huge part in everything that happened over there also. But my whole thing is this. You're not necessarily relying on a lot of different people to stay healthy, as much as you just simply relying on guys to take another step. And it's like, how many more steps can a defense that's already been great take? Especially when you take away a guy in Leslie Frazier, who to me, just in my opinion, was phenomenal. I like his game plans against Lamar Jackson. I thought he was one of the few defensive coordinators that actually had a good scheme against Lamar Jackson. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they got a decent scheme against Lamar. I think Lamar more so just make a lot of mistakes against Pittsburgh. I don't think Pittsburgh's scheme is what really ever beat Lamar. Lamar just beat Lamar a lot of times against Pittsburgh. But against the Bills, Leslie Frazier is just very good at coaching up against Lamar Jackson. Now, one game that he won in the playoffs against Lamar, I don't think he schemed that game up great. I just think a lot of drops on the Ravens side of the ball affected Lamar Jackson's performance. We like to act like the quarterbacks also go out there and catch the ball and run the routes and only get paid, but everybody else get paid to do jobs also. But the Leslie Frazier loss is a tough one. And I do feel like the Bills are starting to see that window close, which is tragic because a window should only close when you have a star quarterback, when you allow it to close. From things like dissension and self-hate and, self-turmoil inside the organization and things like that. So I hope that the rumors and stuff or the drama is not true with the Bills. It'll be tough for a team with this type of talent that really, I think, is only a piece away from being a Super Bowl, in the Super Bowl. And that's a receiver. They should have went after DeAndre Hopkins. The difference last year between this team and the Bengals was not Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. I know the media is lazy, so they like to just say, oh, Joe Burrow just played so much better. No. The Bengals had a great defense with a lot of weapons on the offensive side of the ball. The Bills are not built to beat the Bengals. They don't have the three weapons on the offensive side of the ball. The Bengals have a running game and they have weapons. People like to overstate the offensive line, and they never talk about the three number one receivers running around over there in Cincinnati. It's only one number one receiver running around there in Buffalo. And I understand Stephon Diggs might think to himself, bro, if you just keep throwing me the ball, bro, we'll have a chance. No, you won't. Because at some point in time, three dudes will be running around on you. That can't happen. You can't look at Cincinnati and what Joe Burrow is doing with them dudes and think, look at how he get them opportunities. Bruh, they all getting single covered because it's three of them on the field at the same fucking time. They got no choice but to go off. So the difference is not the lazy media telling you, oh, Joe Burrow is just better than Josh Allen. Josh Allen is slipping. No, the Bengals are a super built team. That's as close to a super team as you're going to get. Them and the Eagles. The type of talent on those two teams is as close to a super team as I can remember. Because the Bills are a good team, a great team. Unfortunately, the defense is not to the point where, for one, they had injuries last year. Two, they got to defend three different top-tier receivers and worry about the running game with no Von Miller, no Micah Hyde. Like, come on, man. Now, I do want to see Oliver take the next step on that defensive line for them. I would like to see him average 10 to 12 sacks a year, get more tackles for losses, be a bigger impact, for what I'm saying for him. But to me, the Bills losing to the Bengals was not because of, Josh Allen slipped. They need another receiver to play opposite Stephon Diggs. This is the same problem that happened in Green Bay when they would not go get another receiver to play opposite Devontae Adams all those years. Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs have probably taken this thing as far as it can go. Now, listen, I know some people say, well, you look at Pat Mahomes. Bro, Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback in football. Stop using Pat Mahomes unless it's a logical argument. Now, do Josh Allen make mistakes and things of that nature? Absolutely. He's very erratic with the ball at times. Remind me of Brett Favre at times. However, if you go get him another weapon to play, I'm not even telling you to go get him another number one. What I am telling you is to go get him a real number two. See, the difference between a Josh Allen and a Justin Herbert is Justin Herbert got a number one and a legit number two and a legit number three. Josh Allen is playing with a number one, and the rest of them are number threes and twos, not really number twos, really number threes. And people is making excuses because they light people up in the regular season with just playing a two-man game. He also don't have a running game, something that this team refused to go invest in. So at this point, like I said, other people get paid to do jobs too. It's amazing that the Bills continue to be this great, but that's to me because of the players. There's a lot of great players on that team. A lot of great coaching going on right there. But I am not going to lie. Head coach of this team, you're going to have to take this to the next level at some point in time, bro. Like, you don't have a Super Bowl to fall back on. So, let's get it together. But I got the Dolphins. Buffalo finishing in second because of those issues. Finishing in first place is the New York Jets. Now, I don't know how confident I am in this pick because Aaron Rodgers is going to have to be Aaron Rodgers from his MVP years. Not even necessarily that, but he can't beat Aaron Rodgers from last year. I understand people like to dick ride Aaron Rodgers and be like, oh, if he was the Aaron Rodgers last year for this team, they would have been a playoff team. No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. If that Aaron Rodgers couldn't have got him to the playoffs against Jared Goff and the quarterbacks that he was playing against in that division, then they wasn't getting him to the playoffs against the quarterbacks he playing in the AFC. So I'm not trying to hear none of that. So Aaron Rodgers do have to be better this year. Point blank. And Corey Davis just retired from the Jets, which is very weird that he would retire when they got Aaron Rodgers. But maybe he was just done with this shit. I don't blame him. Make enough money. Live lavish, my boy. Chase other ventures. No point in going out there getting fucked up every week, taking big hits and shit. I'm all with it. But I was going to call the Rodgers. I got the Packers finish at the Packers. I got the Jets finishing first in this division. And the biggest reason is because of the defense, not because of Aaron Rodgers. It's because of Aaron Rodgers and the defense. Let me put it like that. Because obviously I wouldn't pick this defense if they didn't have Aaron Rodgers, but it's because they have Aaron Rodgers. They have this defense. They have weapons. They have a run game. They don't have the coaching. The coaching clearly don't matter at times, though, i.e. the Bengals. So don't even trip on that. Don't even trip on that. I like this I like this New York team. I know Greeny is going to be hella obnoxious about this season. And I saw somebody say that the floor for the Jets was the bottom of the division. That's crazy. It's no fucking chance. And I didn't even mean to curse it right there, but it's no shot. That the Jets finished below the Patriots, bro. That is just a better team than the Patriots. Like, stop playing, bro. But I like the Jets, man. I think they got a good defense, great defense. I like Sauce. I like CJ. I like CJ. I like Quinnen Williams. I like a lot of the players on the defensive side of the ball for the Jets. The Jets they do a good job at drafting defensive players and pretty much putting together defensive teams. I did not like the loss of May, the safety, but then they did replace him with another good safety that I liked. I can't remember my man's name at the moment, but I like the Jets defense. I liked the Jets defense last year. It's just you can't survive when an offense gives you nothing. But the offense should be giving them a lot this year. Aaron Rodgers, not only do he got good young pieces, he also got some of his favorite old pieces that ain't productive anymore. He wanted Allen Lazard, who is not a real number 2 receiver, but people keep boosting him up because he played with Rodgers. Fine, sure, whatever. He got what he wanted now. He said he's so happy he could play another 3 years. I doubt that's going to happen, but hey, we shall see. And so I got the New York Jets finishing first in that division this year. I'm not super confident because I need to see Aaron Rodgers first. Well, obviously I don't need to see him first because I just made my prediction, but I do want to see Aaron Rodgers because, hey, I could quickly rearrange that and say the Bills going to finish. But I do want to see if Aaron Rodgers is back to being Aaron Rodgers. The Jets will finish in first in the division. I just think they got more. Aaron Rodgers will have more at his disposal. Plus, he's just better than Josh Allen. I hate to really say that. But Josh Allen, the mistakes that Josh Allen make when he become a Favre like a quarterback is just not something that Aaron Rodgers does aside from last year. So if Aaron Rodgers is done pouting, bitching, and moaning about not being happy, I'm pretty sure he should be fine in New York. So yeah, I'm very interested. And plus, this is an organization who he can't say did him dirty. Now I know what I just said sounded like I'm attacking Aaron Rodgers, but if you go watch those Aaron Rodgers videos, I defended Aaron Rodgers all the way through. That's just how I felt like addressing the situation right now. My bad, A-Rod. But the Packers are not blameless in the situation. Put it in like that. So I'm very interested to see what happens this year. But with that being said, this should be one of the better divisions in football. It's at least one of the more competitive ones with the top 3 teams. With that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint on Saints World, a sports network, a budding sports network. We're on the chase to 30 subscribers. I sure would appreciate if you hit that subscribe button, that like button. It helps me out and it costs you nothing. But you already knew that. But it could greatly pay off for you one day. Think about that one. Hey. I fuck with you and I love you. I need you to go out there and tell somebody you fuck with them, tell somebody you love them. You could be anything in the world. Choose to be kind to somebody today for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Tell somebody you fuck with them, tell somebody you love them once again. Saint out.
And I'm ready, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Yeah. And I'm here to stay. I'm not back, I'm better.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber, you out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.